Welcome to Chef Richard's Kitchen. I'm Chef Richard Miller. Today we're going to make a soup, and people who like soup would definitely like this recipe. It's a spicy sausage and lentil soup. And if anyone's been to Carrabba's and had their spicy sausage and lentil soup, it's very similar to that. I'm not going to say it's a clone because it isn't, And besides, when you say something's a clone, it implies that you're using the same ingredients and everything else, which I have no idea what their ingredients are. So I'm just saying it's a similar. So let's go ahead and let's get started. The first thing we want to do is we want to start taking our aromatics. And I have pretty much a half of a large onion diced, probably 3/4 of a cup of carrot that I've grated, and a tablespoon of minced garlic. I also have, and we'll put this in just a little bit, I also have a pound of spicy Italian sausage. And if you want to use the milder, that's okay, but it isn't going to have the flavor, that this is going to have. I've got probably a large tomato diced. I've got a couple of ounces of diced ham, a pound of lentils, and these are just the dried lentils. A couple of bay leaves, a tablespoon of both chopped parsley and chopped basil, a tablespoon, actually 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, a teaspoon and a half of salt, half teaspoon of black pepper, half teaspoon of dried thyme, and a half teaspoon of dried oregano. Add that and we're going to have 7 cups of water and 5 cups of chicken broth. So let's go ahead and put in a little bit of olive oil, our onions, and our carrots. Alright, and now we're going to go ahead, we're going to saute these until the onions are pretty much translucent, the carrots are softened, and then we'll go ahead and we're going to add our garlic. And we're only going to saute that for probably about 30 seconds. Because garlic, as I've told you many times before, has a tendency, if you're not paying attention, it burns easily. Alright, the onions are starting to get translucent, but they're not quite there yet. Alright, it looks like we're there. So let's go ahead and put in the garlic. Now remember, all we're going to do is we're just going to saute this until it becomes fragrant. And that's when you can start smelling that the garlic is roasting in there. Also, by having the onions and the carrots already in there, that's a little buffer to kind of help the garlic from burning. Alright, they're becoming fragrant, I can smell it. So, now it's time to add our sausage in. And I just took a pound of bulk sausage and just kind of broke it up into kind of like little bite-sized chunks. We'll actually take and reduce the size of it even more as it cooks in here. But that's a good size to start with. You can take and put the whole thing in there and break it up as you want. That's fine. It'll work just as well. I just prefer to go ahead and just break them up a little bit. That kind of helps them. It helps them brown a little bit faster. All right, so let's just go ahead and let's let this brown. There, this is, the sausage is pretty much broken up right now. That's why it's easier to kind of break it up before you start browning it. Now it's pretty much done. You can smell that. It smells delicious. It's just brown. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add our diced ham, and I'm going to saute it for another minute. Okay, it's been about a minute, so we're done with the sauteing the meats and aromatics. So now it's time to add the rest of our ingredients. I'll start with my diced tomato, my white wine vinegar, my chopped basil, chopped parsley, my salt, pepper, thyme, and the oregano. Okay, now let's go ahead and stir this. Okay, now it's just time to add our liquid and the lentils. And all we'll do is we'll let it cook down. Here's my 5 cups of chicken stock. Seven cups of water. And our pound of lentils. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this a good stir. And I want to give it a preliminary taste. Very good. You can't really taste the spicy of the sausage yet because it hasn't melded in together. But I am going to take and I'm going to shake just a little bit of red pepper flake in there. And I use this pretty sparingly in the beginning because I don't want to make it too spicy that people can't eat it. If it needs a little more spice later, I'll put a little more in. Otherwise, we've got the spicy sausage in there. We've got a little bit of the red pepper flakes. That should be fine. Last thing I want to do, I want to add a couple of bay leaves. Alright. I'm going to raise the temperature a little bit, and I'm going to bring it to a boil. Then I'm going to set it down to a low simmer, cover it, and we're going to let it simmer for about an hour and a half. So, let me be right back as soon as this boils, so don't go away. Okay, it's getting there, it's almost boiling. Getting much better. You can start, it still hasn't melded together, but you can start tasting the hot sausage. Okay, the soup is now boiling, and you can actually see the lentils starting to plump up a little bit and float to the surface. That's a good sign. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat down on this, and I'm going to cover it, and we're just going to let it simmer for an hour or so. So I will cut the camera here, but I'll see you in about an hour. I know you're not going to go far. You want to see the rest of this, so come right back. Alright, welcome back. It's been, probably an hour and a quarter, something like that, and we've let it simmer that long. I took the lid off, and I just kind of gave it a little taste. The taste is good. The lentils are tender. I think it's ready, and it's time to plate. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, let me take a bowl. Okay. All right, now, what do we plate this with? Well, since we have basil in there, we could actually take and put a sprig of basil on there. We could take and put just a little parsley in the soup, and I went ahead and took some Italian bread that I made yesterday and put some garlic and some butter on that. And so let's go ahead and, well, let me put just a little bit more in there. There. That doesn't look quite so chintzy. So, once again, give it a taste. There is a heat in there, which is exactly the way the original is. You can taste the sausage. You can taste the ingredients. It's got a good brothy flavor in there. So go ahead, I'll put the ingredients on the screen, and please give it a try. Let me know how it comes out. Leave me a comment or write to me at chefrdmiller@att.net. And if you really like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I hope you subscribe to it so you can be notified of future episodes. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it when you tune into my channel. And take care. As always, God bless. And remember, people, cooking should always be fun. We'll see you next episode. Bye for now.